Take me away to Orc 1, please and thank you game, if you would be so kind. Let's see, we go down by 3 armor class to wear this. I think that's worth it. Because unfortunately we don't have the after image to check your stats, but the main thing are like Ghostly Fireball, Vampiric Draining, yeah, all that good stuff. This is just negative energy, right? That's not like some weird negative fire hybrid, because if so, we'd have to start calling BS on you. But no, indeed, it is not. And are you actually poison resistant at all? You don't say. You don't say. Well, I'll just smack that down on you. We'll do some exploding of our own. Probably making a ridiculous amount of noise, but that's fine. And now we have to train another skill. Right. Meant to solve this issue earlier when we were peering through. I want to train some magic. I guess we could increase the spell power on some of our abilities. I'm sure fire magic spells still have a ways to go. So let's bring this up to about equal to where Conjurations is. Fighting can come back on in the background for a wee bit, try and get us some more health overall. And I guess dodging might not be a bad thing to train. It'll train it pretty quick at a +2 aptitude, so let's just bring you to 8 and see that. So to double check our spell powers here, Fireball's at 44. Flame Wave even has a little bit of room for improvement, so that's nice. But the Fireball is the big one. So I'm happy to train a little bit of fire magic. Let's just blast this son of a gun into next week. And we've definitely called some attention. Oh, you banish. 23% chance of banishment? Hate that. Definitely don't love it. So, is there anything we could do to alleviate concerns on the matter? We could Phantom Mirror you and hope you just try and banish yourself or some garbage. That'd be nice. Might also bring our little beasts into play. Oh, but then we cannot Flame Wave, so whoops. Right. That's going to be important moving forward. Let's not forget about that. There we go. That's much better. Eldrocha does go invisible, unfortunately, but everyone else is dead, so that's kind of nice. Can I tell you to, like, attack the disturbance? No? That's a shame. Do you not see invisible, Eldrocha? You do see invisible. You can see yourself. Go get her, Tiger. What the heck? I want to make a return on this Phantom Mirror. I feel like it did not achieve results according to its specifications. If I just hide. Delaricha join me here? No, you're not around? Okay. Can you get banished if you're a tree? It seems like you wouldn't be able to, but I feel like banishment doesn't follow the same rules that the classical teleportation methods would. It is a bit of a specialized case, to say the least, right? Would only be fair, I guess. But I am tempted. I mean, can you send a tree into hell? These are the important questions, the important philosophical quandaries that we must ask ourselves in order to achieve not just mastery in the video game, but mastery in real life dungeon crawling as well, of course. 23% chance. If I get sent to the Abyss, I'm just dead. At level 15 on a deep elf, with pretty much all loud spells, probably dead. In fact, let's check those spell volumes real quick. Boxfire's almost silent, so that's nice. Otherwise, loud, very loud, loud, bit loud. Bit loud, not great. If I can just Orb of Destruction Eldrocha, then it ain't no thing. Get blasted, get blasted. Fantastic stuff. Worth the risk. Sure, near certain death awaited us on the other side, but that's just an average day in the life of a deep elf, I feel. A very close relationship with death when you are basically a step away the entirety of your lifetime. And fantastic stuff. The Orc Knight did not follow us, which is nice, but also concerning in its own right. Let's maybe make some noise real quick. Oh, there's a hole there. You kids can get out. What are you doing? You gonna come hang out or what? Blast ya, blast ya, blast ya. Oh my gosh, that Orc Warrior actually had a bit of gumption to them, to say the least. We have 90 health against a few Orc Warriors. Yeah, I can probably bring a couple of you upstairs relatively safely, shall we say. We get double blast with 5 magic, so we can definitely do that real quick. And jump once more into the breach. Fantastic stuff. Oops. Let's not blast ourselves. That would be foolish. And I feel like we should almost go back to using Foxfires against the detritus that is coming up against us at the moment. Honestly, is this the best you can do, Orc? Don't answer that question. Don't prove me wrong. Let's just leave it at face value, because I know all too well that you may have more than this to bring to bear. And I apologize for insinuating otherwise, Orc. You're very strong, very tough, very scary. Please don't hurt me. Fortunately, Fireball also big, tough, strong, and scary, so it's a bit of a mirror match that we have at our hands today. And let's see, a single Wand of Digging charge. Oh, that's why holes appeared, because you had a Wand of Digging. That makes more sense. That's a bit more reasonable. Well, let's drop stones again for like the 4th time on our journey. Ooh, I should switch back to my old armor, I feel. Right now we have 2 pips of fire resistance, 2 pips of positive energy. I feel like there's more that we could bring to the table in life. So let's just drop the bare minimum for now and keep exploring and see what we find. Where are all the high priests at? That's what I'm concerned about. That's what I am deeply concerned about. But okie dokie. What? Oh, you can already hit me with your trident. That makes sense. For some reason, I thought you were still out of reach, but I was obviously just incorrect, which makes a lot of sense. And okie dokie, my Orc Knight friend. Hope the knighting ceremony was nice, because unfortunately you are going to die in the here and now. But death comes to all things. And all it is up to us to decide is what we do with the time that is given. So, bearing that in mind, I hope you and your orc family had a good life, I guess. I don't know where I was going with this. Mostly just wanted to quote Lord of the Rings. Honestly, that's about as far as a lot of my plans in life go. Let's blast this sorcerer real quick before we completely run out of magic. Though it was already a pretty close call. And we're on the road again. Let's get a schmoove in here. Here's the real vault. So I guess when I was taunting Orc, this is what it was, just kind of baring its teeth and gritting it, waiting for me to find this absolute nightmare of a unit. Not these ones, of course, but give it a moment. I'm sure the High Priest will come crawling out in but a mere moment here. And when they do, we shall be terrified. What is my favorite part of Lord of the Rings? Ooh. That is a tough question, especially when I have a hard time narrowing down what constitutes a single moment. because I really like Helm's Deep in general. The entirety of the like siege and the siege of Isengard by the Ents as well. That all kind of happens around the same time, and I very much enjoy that. Every time we get the ride out with me and meet them, that will bring a tear to my eye without fail, because it is fantastic. In general, I think I really like Theoden. I find that I'm blanking on the actor's name, which is embarrassing because I'm talking about how much I like them, but he does just an incredible job. And so most of my favorite, like if I just had to pick one moment instead, a lot of them include Theoden, because I really like as well the lighting of the beacons in the third movie. That's fantastic. I guess I also assumed that we were talking about the movies here. The books I read probably too long ago to have a good answer to the question, but just the like kind of cheap, easy answer would of course be the visit with Tom Bombadil. I don't know if I've ever really said your name out loud, Tom. Usually just read it. But Tom Bombadil is fantastic. And it was the one thing that I was kind of sad wasn't added to the movie, but I was also happy that they didn't like try and fail to do justice to such a cool kind of unlabelable character for the series. But yeah, it's definitely a tough one. The last thing that I'll say about favorite part, yeah, Bombadil. There we go. Now I say it no problem, but for whatever reason, I want to add like an extra syllable in there or something. But the last kind of big factor that comes into play when trying to decide what moment I like best in those movies is the simple fact that there's a lot of baggage. Usually has negative connotation, but there's a lot of baggage in regards to like moments that I've had with my siblings. So like one time when driving from southern Canada here in Calgary all the way up to Whitehorse in the Yukon, that's like a 28 to 30 hour drive depending on how fast you take it. And my older sister and I spent a huge portion of said drive watching through all 3 of the extended editions. And the entire time we were competing to see who could quote along with the movies the best. And so getting the dead ghost soldiers in the third movie, when Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas are going through the Valley of the Dead, has a very special place in my heart, I should say. Because that was one of the best moments of the entire quote battle, where she did the entire speech at the end to try and convince the ghost to join, and then my only contribution was the ghostly perfectly timed, and it was brilliant. You know, there's no gold left up there, right? Yes, unfortunately, the gold rush may be over, but there is still plenty of fantastic treasures to find, to say the least, both in the people, the fantastic folk, and the general wonderful environment that is fostered up there. I would highly recommend going in the summer if you do ever plan to visit, because the midnight sun is a thing of beauty to behold. It gets dark for about 15-20 minutes, and even that's more of like a dusky lighting than any kind of real darkness. And so especially if you're somebody who enjoys kind of being a night owl and staying up, I would highly recommend checking it out. Bunch of really good kind of local businesses as well that are all beautiful, fantastic, and run by amazing people. So I could not recommend it more. Though I have a personal vested interest because that is where my family originally comes from. And for the longest time growing up, when I lived overseas with my family, we just visited Yukon during the summers, and just a couple times. I think we went up for one winter, but ever since moving to Canada, it's been a pretty constant thing to always go back and visit, spend some time enjoying the fantastic place. I guess part of it too is if you love nature, because you're not going to get a heck of a lot closer than the Great White North. It's funny because immediately my head is just filled with like 3 more sales pitches for why people should visit northern Canada if they're able to, but I'll spare you the details and just implore once more that if you're able to and have any interest in doing so, I would highly recommend it. It's a fantastic place for many a reason. And okie dokie, so that was our orc. Unfortunately, didn't exactly have the keys to the kingdom, the secrets that I was hoping to unveil and discover. Just kind of a bunch of garbage sitting on those store shelves, so... Permafrost, nature's astroturf. Oh, I love it. The permafrost is a wild phenomenon in general. There's an entire, like, kind of display to it in a little city called Dawson City, which actually, speaking of the gold rush, it was like one of the kind of key areas during the gold rush and kind of one of the main havens for people on their way through the hills, like if they were heading to Alaska, heading through the Klondike Trail or anything like that. Which also, brief aside, it's hard to see this photo because of the glare from my lighting sources, but that's actually a photo of the Chilkoot Trail, and that's a very cool journey. If you have 3 days and enjoy long hikes, it is a beautiful one. But regardless, up in Dawson City, you have a bunch of houses that really demonstrate the downsides and some of the issues that come around with permafrost and building it and how it interacts over time. I'm doing a horrible job of describing it, but I hope you get the point, and it's interesting at least. Having grown up in Alaska, this conversation is wild. That's awesome. I don't often get to chat with other people that are from there. Actually, that's kind of not true as I think about what I'm saying, because weirdly enough, Calgary is a pretty big hotspot for people like going to university from up north, and then they head back home after their degree. But that's awesome. Where in Alaska did you grow up, Ramalama? Because I've only been a few times, largely to like Haines. Trying to remember if Haines Junction is in Yukon or Alaska. I feel like the junction is in Yukon, not Alaska. But Haines, Skagway, kind of all the usual stuff, just outside of Anchorage. That's awesome. I've never been, but a lot of my family has visited the island. So that's cool to hear. Glad to have another northerner around. Though I obviously appreciate the rest of you as well. You're all fantastic. Okie dokie. Alaska, also a beautiful place to visit. Fortunately, it's pretty straightforward to get both done in one trip as long as you have a valid passport, I guess, and the ability to travel between those countries. Highly recommend it. When, of course, traveling becomes a little bit more comfortable, I guess, because depending on your own position, you may already be happy to travel, but definitely could get more comfortable. Haines Junction is in the Yukon, and Haines is in Alaska, just to be confusing. Okay, I'm glad at least some part of my brain knew on that very obscure level. I haven't completely forgotten, which makes sense, because I drive through Haines Junction to get to the border, and then we go to Haines. Again, just to, make it as clear as possible for everybody involved, right? Okie dokley. All my fancy armor here. Oh, now I'm just thinking of the north. Many a good memory, many a good summer It helps that I went there a lot as a kid when there was just complete and utter freedom. Though I've also visited up to work in various capacities over the years, and that's very enjoyable as well. Actually, one of my favorite achievements in life was building a back deck, or expanding on a back deck for my parents. They just kind of gave me free reign. They were super busy with their own kind of work that they needed to do, so they were just saying, like, go at it. I was allowed to take the business credit card to go buy wood and whatnot, which is good because wood is lumber so expensive. Oh my gosh. But I made what I would very modestly call an incredible deck that I'm very proud of, though, and it was very enjoyable to get to learn new skills. That's a huge thing that I gain enjoyment from, is learning new things and figuring out how it is done. Though I also just love visiting up there because my parents have all the fun power tools and stuff, so I can actually just build anything I want. If I ever need a treehouse, that's definitely where I go about it. Feel like you want a plane, not a car? I feel like most people would agree with you. I'm definitely a very road trip oriented person. Helps that I grew up doing that road trip over and over again, but no, if you're somebody, again, who enjoys road trips, it's a great drive. Absolutely stunning and beautiful. You see so many animals. That's always a fun way. Anytime I'm bringing someone up north for the first time, their first trip, I really enjoy going through the drive because it's a great lead up to the experiences overall, especially people who are from the city who haven't really seen wildlife or whatnot. It's pretty cool how impressive it is to see a lot of that stuff for the first time. At least to that capacity where you're so close to it. You're stopped in the middle of the road to let an entire herd of bison cross in front of you. Or you're watching a black bear trundle along with her 3 little cubs, just trying to take a nice family trip, much like yourself at the moment. It's good stuff. But yeah, I would think that a large majority of people would agree 32 hours in a car is too long, especially since as a kid, we used to always take multiple days to do it. There are lots of really nice campsites that you stay along the way. There's a beautiful hot springs in northern BC called Liard Hot Springs. Has a great campsite as well as natural hot springs with a beautiful boardwalk that you take to get to the springs themselves. So it's a wonderful thing to do, but as soon as I started doing the drive myself, and when I was in my adolescent years, shall we say, from 16 to when was the last time I drove alone? Probably when I was 19, 20, but driving that route alone, I get so impatient, and I would just do it straight every time. And that's pretty wild. I don't know if I'd recommend that in general. It's super sketchy because driving at night with all the wildlife and stuff is a bit of a danger in its own right. But on top of that, falling asleep is such a serious concern while driving long trips. So I try to avoid doing that as much in this day and age, and I'm always a bit happier to just take my time, enjoy the trip, enjoy the ride. It helps when I have my lovely partner along for it, and we can just sing karaoke with the radio the entire time, put together a bit of a playlist, and have just a good old time. Good evening, Torinski. Congrats on your tourney games. Thanks, Shaper. I appreciate it. Always lovely to see you around. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend, and you had a great end to your tournament as well, if you ended up playing any on your side. No, I very much enjoyed the little bit of time that we got to explore in the tournament. I think we just had 3 runs on camera, 2 of which did not exactly get very far, but I got in another game and a half before the end, fortunately, which was fun. Winning both an atheist, or winning an atheist minotaur and getting a gargoyle fire elementalist very much off the ground, but unfortunately, not having the time to finish before the tournament ended. You are resistant to fire. I knew it, you son of a gun. 29 damage and barbs. We're corroded for 4. You can't one-shot me, so let us let's just hit you with some acid. Might as well keep it simple, stupid, make sure we live to fight another day, see another sunrise, and all that fantastic stuff. And then I just started blasting. Click of Auras never stood a chance, I'm sorry. Absolutely fantastic. I'm full on just in nostalgia mode now, though, on my end of things. Trying to keep a cohesive narrative going for everybody involved, but it's tempting to just wax on poetically about the joys of my youth, the incredible adventures that I went on. Incredible to me, probably, and that's about it. But boy, were those the good old days. In some ways. I also like who I've become as a person a lot more as an adult than I did as a teenager, because I was a dum-dum. Hate that. Hate that. So, we have a ghost moth trying to ruin our day here. I'll probably just read a teleport scroll. It'll take us far enough away that we can at least kind of replenish ourselves. Where did we leave you? Up there? Okay. There you are. Okay, cannot hit you with a fireball, unfortunately, though I do wish things were different. Let's instead just randomly, eyes closed, shoot off an orb of destruction. Immediately hits a rock wall, and I'm out of mana. Fantastic. Well, could read another teleport, I guess, and might as well. We have a whole bunch. Though I also am aware that that kind of mentality is exactly how you wind up not having a whole bunch. But where did we last see our invisible friend? Here. Feel our power being leaked away. Where from? Okay. You must be through here. Hits the rock wall. Gosh darn it. Oh, me oh my. I need see invisible, which I don't think we've seen, ironically enough. Let's check out. Nope, unfortunately not. One last teleport, hopefully. It's the last one. Oh gosh, we are awfully close, so Mothy friend may have noticed us. No? No, you say? Perfect. In that case, do I keep bashing my head into this wall? Only have 5 teleports left, so we will have used up half of them if I keep going at this current rate. Maybe less than ideal. I don't know about that one. But I would like to kill you, friend. Nothing personnel, of course, just has to be done. We left you up here somewhere? Do I feel like I'm being watched? And it's next to me. It's stinging me already? In that case... Hope you like fire, friend? Oh gosh. Holy moly, that hit fast. Well, don't I feel silly now? We do at least have a couple of blink scrolls now. We won't for long if we, again, keep up this current rate, but we do have that. Oh, sorry, we upgraded to 0.28. We are Shaper, yeah. No, we're dealing with all the fantastic wonders that await in the 0.28 spider, which is very frightening. I mean, this isn't even one of the new problems. This is old news that we're still currently dealing with, but we've definitely faced off against a couple of the big old baddies over the course of the few runs that we've gotten in this version. Okay, we're never getting enough mana. We have haste right now, so we can just kind of do some quick maneuvering here real fast. We'll hop up through here. Hopefully we've lost you. And an extension to that, let's hope that we don't immediately come face to face with you as we work our way around the problem. That's nice. Yeah, Ghost Moth might be just a wee bit much for me at the moment, so let's leave them alone and think about our decisions here. Swamp 4 has Nicola in it, just waiting to absolutely one-shot us with a blast of lightning, so that's less than ideal, shall we say. Could just go back out to dungeon again. Elf is also kind of a nightmare without some level of resistance to electricity. We could just try and avoid the Ghost Moth and keep going through Spider, but that sounds like an absolute nightmare. You just dropped 3 floors and stepped on a mark trap? Oh no. That is the nightmare. Did that happen? Not as bad, fortunately, but I think in this game we dropped 1 floor and immediately got slammed. What's up with layer 6? So I normally just leave layer 6 since it generally tends to be a little bit harder than the rest of layer, but I think that's probably our best thing moving forward here. Hope for some good treasure. Anything really. We can always start if it goes poorly. The wonderful thing about following Gozag is, again, as much as I'd like to save all my money for Potion Petition and Bribing Branches, we can just call the shop, and that might give us the tools to then get to the next step, to then get the next step, and so on and so forth. You just start snowballing out of control, and life is good. So let's go down to layer 5, and let's see if layer 6 is worth dabbling in, shall we? Shouldn't be too bad. I mean, the other kind of side benefit to this strategy when playing is that usually by the time I remember that layer 6 is around, I'm so strong that I get to just like auto tab fest throughout the entire thing, and it's wonderful. But that aside, it's probably a great idea to come this direction and see if we can't get any solutions once more to the problems that have plagued us over this middle section of the run. Though I'm also happy to just keep talking about whatever, since again, my brain is just completely short-circuited and I'm just living in the memories of the past. Hello, my wolf friends. Blast ya real quick. Again, this is just a regular burning bush, not a fancy monster one, so that's good. You had 8 heads, then we definitely need to fireball you. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Oh, a 6-headed Hydra. You didn't see us, fantastic. And that gold distraction is just so good. Oh gosh. Don't mind me, sir. Oh, crap. I mean, I said don't mind me, but that's cool too. Let's start blasting from here, I guess. That's not too shabby. And then it's just the Hydra who's gonna get distracted by gold like an idiot. So embarrassing for you, Hydra. And that will give us enough room to start the most ritualistic of DSS dances, the Pillar Dance. Practiced by many members of the community since the beginning of dungeon crawling existence, and known to be the best way to wish malfortune on your foes and good fortune on yourself. Fantastic stuff. Oh, hello, my Oliphaunts. Oops, let's not blast ourselves if possible. That seems like a regrettable decision to potentially make. And that should just about do the trick. Anytime I can even scrap the littlest bit of damage through with my rapier here, I feel pretty proud. Yeah, let's all do the pillar dance. It's always better as a group activity. I've always said this. Fantastic. And the ancient Joestar technique. Indeed, indeed. A very important ritual to the DCSS peoples. And there we go. We've just about made some headway once more. It would help if I didn't immediately try and scorch when absolutely nothing was in range. Ouch, that kind of hurt. Guess not having cold resistance will do that to somebody. And okie dokie. Oh, hello, my thorny toad. Just every once in a while, I still get that mental ping to call these buddies horny toads instead of cane toads. I feel like there aren't a whole lot of monsters in the game that give me that same effect, at least not to the same degree. Also, Rupert turns invisible. No. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Very kind of you to offer, Rupert, but no thank you. I would prefer not. What can we do against these sons of guns? I guess one thing I've been forgetting is I do know how to blink. So if I just blink away one. Honestly, not quite as far-reaching, shall we say, as I was hoping for. But let's Orb of Destruction and then dangerously blink, potentially getting hit by our own Orb of Destruction, but not today, so that's fantastic. Ooh. And apparently a Nethack does go down to a single Orb of Destruction if things all go according to plan. I think this downstairs become a death sentence though, so it's gonna be a no from me, dog, and let's go back to this one, shall we? In general, I'm actually probably okay with fighting Rupert. I just need to make sure I have a nice, wide open arena. You son of a gun. So rude, putting me asleep like that. Well, guess we can start flame waving. If we get put to sleep, it probably interrupts our waving over here, right? That seems like it would be fair. Very understandable. But still makes me grumpy. Poison darts, goodbye. And, oh my gosh, a bunch of new stuff. All the greatest treasures in the known universe, all showing up in one fell swoop. What can I throw away? What do I not need? I mean, ID scrolls, I guess? Wait a second, ID scrolls. Aha. Tell me what is? Scroll of Amnesia? Can technically leave that line around for the time being, but I'll drop my ID scrolls and pick that up instead. Doesn't hurt too much. Also, where the heck did Rupert go? Excuse me, sir? Oh, there are no stairs. Why did I think there were stairs here? Oh, that's one Nethack down. So that's wonderful. We'd have to go all the way around. Oh, gosh. That's less than ideal. Let's conjure flame, step into the problem. I'm probably just gonna have to teleport, and even that might not be enough. But gotta start somewhere. Let's try not to die immediately, shall we? Just blast these sons of guns. One more blast and then get warped? Beautiful. Couldn't have drawn it up better myself. And let's try not to make too much noise. I think Scorch is a bit loud, is it? Let's actually do a quick peek on that. Scorch is loud. Oh, so it's actually louder than Orb of Destruction. That doesn't seem quite right, but I'll take your word for it, game. Orb of Destruction, Orb of Destruction. This is my life now. Don't you dare even try to confuse me, Rupert. I'm far too wise to fall for such nasty tricks. And fantastic stuff. As long as we have that nice avenue for Orbs of Destruction, we should always be in a pretty solid spot. No matter the foe, no matter the situation. Oh my gosh, finally we get just some normal baby yaks. I feel like all we see are death yaks in this day and age. It's nice to see something a little bit fluffier while still being a terrifying large mammal, of course. Don't get me wrong. Don't pet a yak if you see one in the wild. Would not recommend. Okie dokie, my friends. Let us take you on a bit of a journey, shall we? Bit of an adventure, one may say. And let's see if Orbs of Destruction can make it through this one wide gap. It's gonna be tough, but I believe in them. And now we wait. Just waiting for some magic. There we go. Death Yak is taken care of, and Baby Yak should go down as well. Fantastic stuff. Cannot complain. Maybe haven't gotten access to all the great treasures that I was hoping might save us in the future. Also, heard you like forest fires. Burn, baby, burn. Do they only burn when they're in sight? Or, I'm always curious why it doesn't seem like the entire forest burns down. There's some kind of qualifying statement in there to make sure that it doesn't become an absolute nightmare. Also, Raiju are, speaking of absolute nightmares, I'm gonna have to say no to a Raiju visit in this day and age. Also, I'm glad the forest didn't burn down because it's looking like there's a gateway to hell down here. So that's less than ideal. I guess, or an Abyss Gateway? I always kind of forget these. They only burn in line of sight. Thought it might be something like that. It's unfortunate, really. I would like to be an agent of destruction and chaos across a wide scale, but I guess it is what it is, and be happy with what I've got, right? At least I can kind of start forest fires. Get revenge on Fedass for killing off poor old Legolas and Legolas. Both incredible elves, with families, with children. Think of the children, DCSS. Just absurd. But unfortunately, chaos and destruction going to be limited to a 7x7 square, much like real life, right? But it is good enough for me. So what did we leave behind here that I didn't want to fight? A Raiju, right? Or whatever the Shocky Dogs do be called. I believe it's something like that. Inchby Weaver, I'm sorry, but you've got to go. And okay, if we find the Raiju in a vacuum, then I mean pull it out of the vacuum, because that's not where Raijus belong. But more importantly, we should be okay to take it down. Oh, when you burn these like chaos trees, sorry, demonic trees, they turn into chaos energy. How about that? Probably have done that before now that I think about it, but maybe not. I'm always surprised at how many little things in this game can still crop up where it's like, I've never seen, heard, or even thought about that potential before. There are always new tricks of the trade, new small little bits and bobs that can open up those avenues. Are you immune to fire, my friend? Looks like you're immune to fire. No, you're not. You've just been, I guess, off camera for a while? Yeah, there we go. Degenerates into a cloud of chaos. Sounds about right for the degenerate that those chaos spawns are. Deep down inside, oh gosh. Oh, that hurt more than I expected. Oh, stop that. No, trample somewhere else. I don't really want to cause a forest fire here, but I will turn this car around, mister, so get out of my face. Get out, and now we run. Ouch. It definitely hurts. If I run into a Raiju on my escape path, oh boy, am I unhappy. But if not, then would you look at that? Absolutely beautiful. Please just get me far and away from here for a brief moment at the very least. And then show me your treasures. I want treasure. And ouch. The ugly thing should actually be able to outpace us, but it has to know where we are first. You can't hit what you can't see, so get absolutely wrecked. Steel Barb is problematic. And unfortunately, at this range, Orb of Destruction, not quite doing too much here. You think the Chaos Trees is a 0.28 thing? Oh, okay. That's funny. For whatever reason, I thought I'd seen them before, but that's awesome. I like those little features that maybe escape notice in comparison to some of the kind of big things, but still adds a little bit of flavor, a little bit of texture to your game. Always fantastic. Quickly light you up here, and this is not good treasure, I'm sorry to say. It depends on what's in that spell book, to be fair. Malign, Great Way, Summon Horrible Things. Yeah, this was a bad loot section, unfortunately for us. Not exactly what we were hoping and dreaming of, but let us go to Lar 1. Then I'll share a little tidbit here about how I've always played the game. A lot of my habits that I've gone into over the years stem from some of the original mechanics in the game. For example, when monsters could pick up anything they found lying around. It doesn't matter if the player had seen it already or not, they could pick it up and use it for themselves. So the only way to stop enemies from picking up, all the amazing artifacts that you come across, weapons, scrolls, potions, all this good stuff, you had to find a place that was safe from monsters. And one of those was, of course, the lair, because nothing here has hands. It's that easy. It's so nice. Things also randomly spawned back then, so you could never clear a floor completely. So that was part of the issue as well. So for the longest time, and still to this day, anytime I want to make a stash, I go to the top of lair, you go down one floor, and this is where you put your stash. Because monsters could travel between floors, a little bit here or there, but generally they wouldn't make it down two. Again, nothing in lair has hands, so you wouldn't have to worry about losing all the unrandarts that you're keeping a collection of. And so I just got in the habit of this, and yeah, still to this day, I find myself going here, and it's especially relevant when I'm following Gozag, because if I need to put down a shopping district, if you will, I like to do it all in one place. I like to choose lair 2 and create a stash one place and a little bit of a shopping district somewhere else. On my demon spawn character that has been around for a really long time and just keeps going through ziggurats, that's exactly what I've done, is just turned an entire section of lair into a beautiful place, just shops all along the boulevard. It's wonderful. You still make your stashes on lair 2 as well, Railbird, and you make your second stash in the vestibule of hell. Exactly, yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's such a fun little holdover that I've just kept up. And so yeah, on characters that I plan on going for a long time, back in the day I used to just on every character try and collect anytime I saw an unrandart, it had to go in my special collection on layer 2. Even if, yeah, we were long past the days of it being an actual risk or an issue of any sort, still found myself doing this, given on each and every opportunity rather. But what I was thinking of doing here is, unfortunately, we are at the end of our session for the evening here. So I was going to potentially call in one shop for the end of the stream here, and hopefully it gives us all of the secrets to the universe, everything that we also desire in order to move forward, whether that be a scroll shop potentially, try and get a scroll of silence, maybe, to deal with Nicola. I think I'd rather get a file of floods from some kind of gadget shop. Or, of course, jewelry shop is a pretty big contender here, because I definitely could use some fancier bling in that regard. But one way or another, let's do it. And this is kind of a nice little location for a shopping district, don't you think? Build it in the ruins of whatever tower, temple, whatever was built here before the lair became overgrown by beasts and wildlife. Sounds pretty lovely to me. So let us call a merchant, and we get the option between a jewelry store, an antique weapon emporium, and an antique weapon emporium. I guess emporium, really emphasize that E, because an emporium is a different thing, I believe. But don't get me wrong, we could use each and every one of these. I kind of want the armor emporium now that I think about it, because we are wearing pretty bog standard equipment across the board. Weapon emporium, I guess not quite as tempting. Not that interested. Maybe could open us up to using manifold assault in the future, which would be interesting to say the least. But between the jewelry shop and the antique armor, who do I like more, Viblik or Quar? Quar. English mouth and tongue is not very good at trying to pronounce that name. But I guess the jewelry shop is much cheaper, almost half the price, so let's do it. Hello, Viblik. Welcome to the shopping district. I hope you enjoy your employment here. Lovely to see you. And what have we got here? Amulet of Lilar. Resist poison, 2 pips of cold resistance and regen, but we lose willpower. A whole game. Oh, you sneaky game. You trying to kill me? I think the game is trying to kill me. But that is a beautiful necklace. Resistance to poison, 2 pips of cold resistance, and regen. And I guess I didn't even look at magic points plus 9, but that's very relevant on this character. That's a whole nother spell or 3. I at least gotta highlight you. It's too good not to. And otherwise, we have a pretty nice ring in Inzical Fex here. Slow is one of my least favorite of these kind of conditional negatives. But RC, Arc Corrosion, MP plus 9 again. We also see the Ring of the Enemy here. Wizardry, resist poison, and an okay statistical bonus as well. I mean, the only issue with the Ring of the Enemy, I see Shaper calling out that the Ring of Enemy is nice too. I agree, it's a fantastic ring in general. With this character, the only kind of issue I have and potential stopping point for buying it is that I don't have high-level spells yet. I mean, more so now that we got Malign Gateway and some horrible things, but I don't want those spells, so they're not relevant. And so I discard them from my argument, ignore anything that contests what I've already decided to believe, because that's how good science is done, of course. And yeah, unfortunately, Wizardry doesn't do a whole lot for us at the moment, but I'll probably end up buying that ring, especially if we do get some of the level 7, 8, and 9 fire spells. Potentially conjuration spells as well. I guess we already have one of those in Orb of Destruction, so let's not be too greedy. But it's interesting at the very least. Let's definitely mark it. And even Sipple. I guess I could do like Sheeple, because I think XI in Chinese is shi. But I could be wrong there, because I am but an ignorant Canadian. But Shibblefacts, maybe? It's a bit nicer to pronounce for me at the very least. I'll think about it. That can be something that we bring back onto the table next session when we're trying to decide where to go from here, what are the next steps to take, and how the heck do we get out of here alive. See Invisible is what I was hoping for. Let's make sure I didn't actually look at any of the basic rings, but See Invisible would have been nice. Or what else? Yeah, some form of silence, but that's not coming from a jewelry shop. What am I thinking? But A-okay, I think this is where we'll sign off for the evening. I had a pretty good run of it. Unfortunately, good old Legolas here, whose ghost we've seen, did not quite make it. Was such a good potential for showing off the hunter. abilities in general. We were just machine gunning out arrows by the end of the run, but of course a single turn where I'm completely forgetting about elemental resistances, that'll generally kill a poor buddy, but all well and fine at the end of the day because Dalamar here is doing an absolutely fantastic job. Can't complain. New Fire Elementalist start. Don't tell the devs, but I think it's too strong. I think it's too good. I could be wrong and it's more of a personal playstyle thing, and so that's more on me than on the game itself, but I gotta say it's in a good spot. At least for my playstyle, if we want to make sure to throw that caveat in. But regardless, had a really good time getting Dalamar off the ground. Excited to see where the rest of the run goes. Hopefully, when we're next back here, we can get through with another victory, and then we're done for a decent little while with characters that all have, you know, minus 20 or minus 30% hit points. And I'm so looking forward to that ogre. To have just all the HP in the world. I'm going to do some Dragon Form Manifold Assault shenanigans or something or another, and just try and breathe in the sigh of relief that is having hit points. Though I'm sure I'll still complain when we get there, because I'll end up dying due to lacking resistances and no armor. But at the end of the day, having a great time. I hope you enjoyed watching as well. Yeah, I don't even know. My brain is so dead today. I'm gone on like a lack of sleep throughout the entirety of the last week, and then going through like my nostalgia memory phase on stream today, followed by actually trying to do a sign-off properly. Oh geez Louise. That's optimistic, shall we say. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, whether you're watching here on Twitch, chatting along with us, or if you're just lurking in the background. I mean, hey, I'm a lurker, definitely in my heart of hearts. But I appreciate each and every one of you, or if you're watching this later on YouTube, thank you so much for the fantastic stuff. And yeah, we'll definitely be seeing you this Wednesday when we're hopping back into a bit more of a variety gaming streak. I don't even know what I'm playing right now. I mean, Death's Door really interested me a while back. Noida, I know, was called out by 9th, and I've been very interested in trying out. So I might just have to make the decision over the next few days and see where we land. But of course, next Sunday, we'll be back in this series, trying to get through with a win with every species, and hopefully Dalamar makes it to the end.